Hello, and thank you for voting on the Wednesday Wisdom Tool for the short video. It seems like that is the most popular option, so I'm making this video quickly surrounding memories and trauma. It seems to be a contentious subject because so many people have different things and theories about memories, how to handle traumatic memories, and how they approach it. From the medical fraternities, which develop new drugs to try and suppress certain emotions, to get people out of that traumatic state, to even in the hypnosis community. There is an amazing thing that happens in the hypnosis community with one of the practitioners who actually takes people back into trance, have them relive their traumatic event, and then he's got a little app on his phone that creates fart noises. And the fart noises actually interrupt the thought process of the traumatic event, and the people start to laugh. And as the people start to laugh, that traumatic memory, when they think back on it, the laughter comes up with the traumatic memory. Now that sounds all good and well, but I think the sustainability of that, if you want to sustain growth, I don't think that is a good way of approaching trauma and memories. The first thing you must remember is your memories are fallible and they're malleable. Fallible means they can fail. I mean, try and remember what you had for dinner 4 weeks ago. There's just certain parts of your memory structure that just does not exist. And then malleable means it can be manipulated. Now, what psychologists have done in some studies is they've planted false memories in people. So, for instance, one study actually made people think that they were lost in a shopping mall when they were younger, or their parents forgot them there, something to that effect. And it never happened. And one of the participants actually said that he could remember the man walking past him when he was lost and looking at him funny. And that memory was totally fabricated by the psychologist. So they had a way of manipulating these people's memories to not be accurate. Now, we do that on a certain level ourselves, because remember, your memories are not 100% accurate, always. Things that you might have thought played out a certain way might not play out a certain way. So it's very important to start questioning your memories. When it comes to trauma, however, an interesting thing happens. The more the situation is stressful, or the more stressful the situation becomes, the more your emotional regulator, the amygdala in your brain, actually regulates the emotions. And it makes you feel all the emotions like panic attacks, sadness, fear. All those emotions come back and they trigger very, very effectively. Now, on the flip side, the hippocampus, which is supposed to store the information in your brain and supposed to tell you why, what, when, who, that gets shut down in high stress environments. So if people have a traumatic memory that they're attached to or that surfaces, they can be in the safest place, can be in a restaurant, in a discussion, at home. If something triggers that memory, that feeling, that emotion surfaces again. The body reacts as if it would react, or as if it reacted in that situation where the trauma took place. And if that happens, people feel very helpless. Now, this comes back to my root definition of trauma. It's not the event that happened. It's not the situation that happened. It is the helplessness feeling in that event that most people experience as huge trauma. Because if you're helpless in a situation, it just makes you feel overwhelmed. What do you do? Now, the memory is triggered, the traumatic thing, whatever that was, is triggered, and it surfaces as if that person is in the same traumatic event, and they feel helpless again. So it is a vicious cycle. So what to do about this? What to do about traumatic memories? What to do if your memory goes back? What to do if something triggers? First of all, acceptance. Accept that it happened. Accept that it was a reality. Accept that it happened to you. Most of my clients go, I can't believe this happened to me. That's the first thing. So we need to find out that you need to tell the subconscious mind that it has to accept what happened. Because with acceptance, you can start doing something about it. And then a good thing to do, if autopilot takes over, but this only works with people who doesn't suffer from severe PTSD. I mean, some people will go crazy. They'll go into shock mode from the PTSD or from the traumatic memory, and their body will just shut down and go crazy. But if you can, or if somebody's with you, remind yourself where you are in the present moment. If that traumatic memory surfaces, it's important to acknowledge the stuff around you, like physical stuff that you can touch. So for instance, say you're in your bedroom and you're thinking back of a traumatic memory, maybe abuse or something, and all of those feelings come crashing in. Then it is a good idea to just accept that it happened, know that it is happening, acknowledge to yourself that, wow, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling frightened, I'm feeling scared, I'm having my panic attack. Then start focusing on stuff around you. My bed is here, my chair is here, table, carpet, wall, anything that's around you that's got physical structure. Just focus on that and try and bring the mind back to the present time. Because a traumatic memory steals your energy in the moment, immediately. It's amazing what happens there. So if you try and fight that memory or suppress it, it's going to come back with a vengeance. And that's why I say I don't agree with the sustainable solution of having a fart app. It's very funny approach, but it seems to bring temporary relief in the session with a person that goes into a trance state. But for sustainable growth and sustainable effect of having peace surrounding traumatic memories, it is not functional, I think. What is better is, imagine you can take the emotional energy out of the traumatic event, look at it from an objective point of view, take the wisdom from it, grow from it, and then strengthen and empower yourself to move forwards through life so that memory, when it comes up, you feel that you can actually handle it. That takes away the helplessness. It's not some sort of escapism that you have now another trigger or another event happening in the brain or in the neurons firing, and now you can handle both. That might be a nice solution in the beginning, but wouldn't it be better if you could take that wisdom, extract it, grow from it, and then move forwards in a more empowered way? Because I always say, you are a part of nature. What in nature does not want to grow? It is interesting. And I think Sadhguru actually mentioned this. He says, we're all a part of nature and everything in nature wants to grow. But you are a part of nature as well. You want to grow. So why not grow out of your traumatic events? Why not gain the wisdom from it? And the irony of it is, if you actually learn and grow from a traumatic event, that traumatic event becomes a positive event. And it's very weird. It's a very strange phenomenon to accept, and it's a very strange thing to think about. But that negative emotion or negative experience becomes a positive experience as soon as you are able to learn from it and grow from it. And this is where the trance work comes in. This is where the subconscious work comes in. Now, I know in the medical fraternities, they are developing drugs to suppress the emotional part of PTSD or trauma or anything that related with past memories. And they can actually have people not be afraid of the memory anymore, which is a good thing. But where does the wisdom come in that? It would be nice to have that and have the wisdom in it. And that's why I thought, wow, it's amazing to discuss the memory and the traumatic events, because most of the people that do subconscious work can go back to that event where it was triggered. They can dissociate themselves from it, observe it in a safe environment if they're guided by a professional, and they can extract the wisdom from it. And once they extract the wisdom from it, something happens to their demeanor, something happens to the way they approach life, and there's just this peace. And when they think of that memory again, it's not as emotionally draining and as emotionally volatile as it was. And that, in my opinion, is actually quite a nice way to handle it. So when you are confronted with traumatic memories, when your mind goes, first ask yourself, after acceptance has taken place, ask yourself, what in this memory is real, what is not? What in my environment is real and what is not? And that should help with your traumatic events and actually experience the traumatic emotions that comes with the memory of the past. Okay, so quick, short video. Thank you guys for voting. Hopefully the next Wednesday wisdom sessions, ESCOM will allow us to do what we need to do. And usually in the Wednesday wisdom sessions, you have the opportunity to ask questions. So please ask questions either directly to me on WhatsApp because you're in the group, or voice note, or if anything is unclear, you're welcome to ask questions surrounding trauma and memories. I hope this made sense. I hope this helps you with not being too reliant on your memories because they are not 100% accurate all the time. unless you have photographic memory or a very good memory and you can remember all the senses, but don't negate the emotional stuff that goes with it, because they seem to equilibrate each other, balance each other out, and then form a new entity that you can move forwards and grow and walk a different path. Thank you.